Well, was there a disconnect from the prediction and from the ideas set forth by both leaders? Certainly there's some shared goals, but do they see it the same way? And I want to open that with you, Polina.
Well, of course, I mean, we were talking about the judicial reform, and as we predicted, the concern that was raised by Germany has been very subtle, like always framed as one coming from an invested friend. As we mentioned, Israel's democracy is part of Germany's reason of being, the raison d'être, and of course, it is following what is happening in Israel closely. As Chancellor Scholz said, Germany is, of course, in no position to make any sort of decisions. So he made it clear that Germany does not intend to intervene. However, the clear reference to the compromise suggested by President Herzog, something that's echoing what German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier said earlier. Both are quite unusual remarks. So while Germany says it's not really intervening, it's definitely showing, well, expressing support at least to attempts to find a compromise, something that Netanyahu clearly rejected in his statements. He blamed the opposition for not even trying to find some sort of middle ground, and in his comments to the press, rejected all sorts of criticism towards this reform, saying that it's simply being misunderstood.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to briefly move to our Middle East correspondent, Harald Serrano, who's joined us on this panel. We heard him speak about Iran. Are both nations really in agreement about what the next step has to be?
I think the short answer is no, and we've seen that build up for many, many months now. I think even years, ever since the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal signed in 2015. What we've seen since the U.S. unilaterally withdrew from the deal in 2018 is that, on the one hand, the Iranian regime has continued to develop or kind of restart their nuclear program, while the U.S. has tried to reimpose some of the sanctions. But the European members of the JCPOA have really tried to stick to the diplomatic avenue as much as possible. And that's what we heard Scholz say today, that he still believes that diplomacy is the way to work. I think Netanyahu came here with a goal to try and align Germany closer to the U.S. that thinks that while diplomacy is the main way, there needs to be a military plan prepared. I'm not sure that Scholz is in that same position, looking in tandem with Netanyahu on that issue.